Hello, primary class. I've got your story corner for our story, Jacob's New Name. And this one is titled Agnes and the Flooded River. This sounds very similar to what has happened to us in the past few weeks here in Kentucky, isn't it? Flinging open the door, Agnes ran into the little cabin. How she hoped this would be one of Aunt Julia's good days, but at once the little girl's heart sank when she saw Aunt Julia stretched out in her rickety old couch. The old lady's face was pale, and Agnes could tell that she was suffering. "Praise God that you came. I've been praying that he would send you," Aunt Julia gasped, trying her best to smile. "Please get my medicine, Agnes," she added. As she carefully measured out the medicine, Agnes listened to the rain beating against the window pane. The sound frightened her. She had come to warn her Aunt Julia that the rain was causing the water to rise near her little cabin, and to take her back home where she would be safe. But Aunt Julia was too sick to come, and because she was so sick, Agnes couldn't even tell her about the danger that would soon reach her, and perhaps even wash her little cabin away. Agnes knew that there was still time to run back home herself, but how could she leave poor, sick Aunt Julia all alone? Soon Aunt Julia was dozing. The minutes seemed like hours, and as Agnes sat beside her listening to the rain, she could feel the little cabin tremble and shake in the wind. All day long, Agnes had been hearing about the rising water. Down the river, not far away, several small cabins had already been flooded. Father said that the others would be in great danger that night. Agnes thought of her own home, which rested safely on high ground. Oh, if only she and Aunt Julia were there! There was no telephone to call on, so there was no way to tell her parents what was happening. Then Agnes noticed Aunt Julia's Bible laying on the little table beside her. As she picked it up, she began remembering promises that she had memorized. "Jesus says, 'I will never leave thee nor forsake thee,'" she reminded herself. Then, as time kept ticking by, she prayed, "Dear Jesus, please send Father for us." Outside it was getting darker and darker. Agnes knew that the oil in Aunt Julia's little lamp would soon burn out. Then the cabin would be in complete darkness. But even if the light goes out, Jesus will still be here, Agnes told herself. Suddenly, Agnes heard a voice shouting her name. A few minutes later, Father and Uncle Bob burst into the room. "Thank God we have found you," cried Father as he picked Agnes up in his strong arms. Quickly, Uncle Bob picked up Aunt Julia, and they made a dash for safety, and soon they were home. "Weren't you terrified, honey?" Mother asked as she held Agnes close. "Oh, Mother, I'm so glad that I learned my Bible promises," Agnes told her. "I know now why they are so important." How many of those wonderful and important promises have you memorized? I sure hope you take the time to memorize some of them.